Dear finance professionals and students, welcome to podcast of FCA Deepak Rao, a practicing chartered accountant. Weekly digest for week 1 of June 2025. Fresh graduates from India's top colleges face a tough placement season as major recruiters significantly reduce intake due to global economic headwinds and evolving industry needs. Companies cite recessionary trends, AI disruptions, and a preference for experienced candidates, leading to delayed offers and increased uncertainty for students. ICAI is focusing on India. The Swedish retailer plans to increase sourcing from India for its global operations. It also aims to raise local sourcing to 50% for the domestic market. This move will create more jobs across the supply chain. ICAI is already sourcing textiles, plastics, and metals from India. The Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, through its Digital Accounting and Assurance Board, has released an exposure draft proposing a comprehensive revision of the Forensic Accounting and Investigation Standards or FAIS and its accompanying implementation guide. Key highlights of the revised standards are structured format and enhanced clarity, separation from statutory audits, discouragement of the term forensic audit, and no additional compliance burden. The deadline for comments is June 19, 2025. The Securities and Exchange Board of India has announced a set of new measures aimed at improving trading convenience and strengthening risk monitoring mechanisms in the equity derivatives segment. These changes reflect SEBI's continued commitment to fostering a more transparent, efficient, and secure market environment. Government issues guidelines to regulate walkie-talkie sales on e-commerce platforms, mandating disclosure of frequencies, licensing, and compliance with wireless laws. Platforms must verify regulatory approvals or face penalties under the Consumer Protection Act 2019. The aim of these guidelines is to curb the unauthorized sale of wireless devices that may pose risks to consumer safety, mislead consumers regarding their legal position, and interfere with critical communication networks, including those used by law enforcement and emergency services. Indigo has signed a memorandum of understanding with European aircraft manufacturer Airbus to order 30 additional A350-900 wide-body aircraft, aiming to expand its long-haul network over the next decade. The order is estimated to be worth around $5 billion. Indigo currently has about 430 planes. Only 3 of them are wide-body planes, 2 B777 leased from Turkish Airlines and 1 B787 leased from North Atlantic. Sumitomo Mitsui Banking Corporation or SMBC is seeking RBI approval for a wholly owned subsidiary, signaling its intent to acquire a controlling stake in Yes Bank. Following an initial 20% stake purchase, SMBC aims to increase its holding to nearly 34%, with SBI and other banks likely to sell their remaining shares. Tata Sons is pumping Rs 30,000 crore or around $3.5 billion into some of its fast-growing and strategically important ventures, including Tata Digital, Tata Electronics, Air India, and its defense and battery businesses. The funding will come through equity infusion. This comes on top of the $120 billion the group has already committed to new businesses over recent years. The Ministry of Corporate Affairs will shortly discontinue the version 2 of the MCA 21 portal, a platform used by companies and limited liability partnerships to make statutory filings, incorporation, and closure of companies. In a notification, MCA said that it is launching a final set of 38 company forms, including 13 annual filing forms, 6 audit or cost audit forms on July 14th. This launch will effectively shift the entire company filing process from version 2 to the version 3 of the MCA portal, rendering version 2 obsolete. Oyo plans to rename parent company Oravel Stays as part of a premiumization push ahead of IPO plans. Founder Ritesh Agarwal invites name suggestions with a Rs 3 lakh prize. The firm is expanding premium offerings in India and abroad, targeting a $6 to $8 billion IPO valuation. Microfinance lenders in India aggressively cleared bad loans in Q4 of financial year 25, significantly impacting profitability. This strategic move aims to prepare for an expected turnaround, with listed NBFC MFIs writing off Rs 2,400 crore. The sector faces challenges like over-indebtedness and disruptions, promoting introspection and operational adjustments for a more sustainable future. KKR has invested $600 million in debt funding into Manipal Group, a leading hospital chain in India. This financing, arranged by KKR Capital Markets, will support Manipal's expansion and growth plans by providing flexible capital. KKR's investment, made through its Asia-Pacific credit strategy, demonstrates its commitment to supporting high-quality companies in the region. India's auto industry faces disruption as China restricts rare earth magnet supplies, crucial for electric vehicles and other components. Despite embassy endorsements for some importers, China's Commerce Ministry hasn't approved shipments, impacting various sectors beyond automobiles. Diplomatic efforts are underway to resolve the issue. Yes Bank's board has approved a plan to raise funds. The bank aims to secure Rs 7,500 crore through equity and Rs 8,500 crore via debt instruments in fiscal year 2026. This fundraising will occur in stages, both domestically and internationally. Sumitomo Mitsui Banking Corporation will increase its stake in Yes Bank. Quest Corp, a staffing and workforce solutions company, is setting up a dedicated business line for global capability centers as it aims to expand its presence in high-margin businesses and capture a share of a market expected to be worth $105 billion by 2030. The new business line, named Origent, will provide end-to-end services to help GCCs set up, scale, and operate high-performance centers across India and key international markets. HDB Financial Services, the non-banking finance arm of HDFC Bank, received approval from the SEBI to launch one of the largest initial public offerings. HDB's IPO will be the largest NBFC IPO and the fifth largest overall to hit the domestic markets. The lender filed a draft red herring prospectus with the markets regulator in October 2024 for its IPO, which involved an offer for sale of 10,000 crore by HDFC Bank and a fresh issue of Euro 2,500 crore. The Institute of Cost Accountants of India has issued the Code of Ethics for the members of the institute, which will come into effect from 1st June 2025. This comprehensive document includes the latest independent standards and reflects a strong commitment to upholding professional values in a dynamic regulatory and business environment. The code now includes dedicated sections on independence for audit and review engagements and for other assurance services. The Competition Commission of India approved private equity major Warburg Pincus's proposal to acquire a 9.99% stake in private sector lender IDFC First Bank. Shares will be purchased by Current C Investments BV, an affiliate of Warburg Pincus. Also, the Competition Commission of India clears Omnicom's $13 billion acquisition of Interpublic Group, marking a major move in global advertising. Both deals strengthen strategic growth and market consolidation. Tilaknagar Industries, known for Mansion House Brandy, is leading the acquisition race for Pernod Ricard's Imperial Blue Whiskey, potentially the largest liquor industry M&A since 2013. Valued at up to $600 million, the deal would significantly expand Tilaknagar's whiskey portfolio, though in-brew beverages remains a contender. Pernod Ricard aims to focus on its premium brands after the sale. Company incorporations surged 29% in May, while limited liability partnerships jumped 37%, fueled by strong economic growth and a positive consumption outlook. A total of 20,720 companies and 7,487 LLPs were incorporated, marking the fifth consecutive month of increased company registrations. These increases are supported by ease of doing business initiatives and robust service trade. State Bank of India, Punjab National Bank and Bank of Baroda, along with two other public sector banks, are collaborating on a common collection firm via PSB Alliance Private Limited to recover retail and MSME loans below Rs 5 crore. This initiative aims to enhance recoveries and allow banks to concentrate on core activities. Vedanta Resources is in talks with lenders from the Middle East, Europe and Japan to refinance a $550 million credit facility maturing in 2026. The refinancing aims to prepay a high-cost loan with an 18% coupon, potentially saving the company around $47 million with significantly lower interest rates. Discussions are underway with several banks to secure the new facility. The Securities and Exchange Board of India has softened its position on approving initial public offerings by companies with a large number of public shareholders, resolving a grey area that had stalled several high-profile listings. As a result, 5 such companies, including HDB Financial Services and Hero FinCorp, which had filed their draft red herring prospectus last year, have recently received regulatory nod for their IPOs. The delay in SEBI's approval stemmed from ambiguity over whether a large number of public shareholders, without any prior public fundraising, violated provisions of the Companies Act. The Aditya Birla Group has acquired Cargill Inc.'s specialty chemical manufacturing facility in Dalton, Georgia, as part of its strategy to deepen its presence in the US chemical sector and expand its advanced materials business for an undisclosed amount. The deal, executed via Aditya Birla Chemicals USA Inc., a wholly owned unit of Aditya Birla Chemicals Thailand Limited, adds to the Indian conglomerate's more than $15 billion US portfolio, which already includes Novelis and Birla Carbon. Indian electronics manufacturers face hurdles in securing government approval for joint ventures with Chinese firms, hindering technology transfer for component manufacturing. Concerns over Beijing's stance and unofficial equity stake mandates are delaying plans and prompting companies to seek alternative partners. Apple's expansion plans in India may also face delays due to these restrictions. Private sector banks charge higher spreads on loans compared to public sector banks, ranging from 40 to 200 basis points more, according to recent RBI data. Despite this, private banks demonstrated more effective transmission of policy rates during a period of tight liquidity. The RBI is considering new guidelines to improve policy rate transmission, potentially announced this Friday. The Ministry of Corporate Affairs has notified the company's Management and Administration Amendment Rules 2025, introducing significant revisions to Forms MGT 7, MGT 7A, and MGT 15. These revised forms will come into effect from 14 July 2025 and will be made available on the MCA version 3 portal from the same date. The Ministry of Corporate Affairs has issued the company's Cost Records and Audit Amendment Rules 2025, bringing key changes to Forms CRA2 and CRA4, which are related to the appointment and report submission of cost auditors. The amended rules will come into effect from 14th July 2025. Eternal, formerly Zomato, has launched an electric rental bike fleet in Delhi NCR, initially deploying 300 EV bikes for food delivery partners with plans for nationwide expansion. The company had earlier announced its plans to have a 100% EV fleet by 2030 and achieving net zero emissions across its food ordering and delivery value chain by 2033. Currently, around 10% of Zomato's delivery force uses electric vehicles. These partners have contributed to avoiding approximately 4,900 tons of carbon dioxide equivalent emissions, which equates to the environmental impact of planting an estimated 220,000 trees in financial year 25. The Prime Minister's office is convening a meeting on Friday to explore strategies for fostering the growth of large domestic accountancy firms to rival the dominance of the Big Four. Chaired by Shaktikanta Das, the meeting will assess potential regulatory changes and interventions to facilitate the scaling up of Indian firms. Reserve Bank of India's rate cut of 50 basis points is set to decrease deposit rates. Banks have already begun lowering deposit rates. Since February, most banks have reduced deposit rates by 40 basis points. The rate cuts will take 6 to 9 months to fully materialize. The rate cut came as a surprise to many. This RBI's action will boost credit growth and will help in growth and stability. PricewaterhouseCoopers faces escalating challenges in Hong Kong due to its involvement in the China Evergrande Group audits. The firm is experiencing a significant partner exodus, with at least 10 more departures expected soon, adding to previous losses. These troubles follow regulatory fines and operational suspensions in mainland China related to Evergrande's inflated financial reports, impacting PwC's revenue and client retention. Manish Agarwal, formerly co-head of deal advisory at KPMG, has joined Deloitte in a senior leadership role to spearhead the firm's expansion into infrastructure, government and financial services deals. Deloitte aims to capitalize on regulatory changes and India's economic growth targets, necessitating innovative financing solutions. Agarwal's expertise will drive integrated deal and consulting opportunities in these key segments. Automobile retail sales grew 5% in May from the year before, helped by weddings, harvest and rural demand. Passenger vehicle sales dipped 3% to 302,214 units due to tensions over India's military clash with Pakistan in May, said the Federation of Automobile Dealers Associations in a statement. ICAI will soon submit a vetted list of CA firms to NABARD for appointing statutory auditors for state and central cooperative banks for financial year 26. In line with RBI norms, the move aims to enhance transparency, ensure regulatory compliance, and strengthen fraud detection in cooperative banks. India and 5 Central Asian nations are keen to collaborate on exploring rare earths and critical minerals, as stated after the India-Central Asia Dialogue in New Delhi. Following the first Rare Earth Forum, they plan further discussions and delegation exchanges to identify new cooperation areas. This initiative aims to diversify the rare earth supply chain currently dominated by China. This podcast is sponsored by Sound of CA. We share because we care. Vande Mataram, Jai Hind.